5 daily self-care habits for a happier life. Hi, I'm Marina, and we're gonna go right into it today. So these are not your typical self-care habits. This goes deeper. It's not just like go and take a bath, which is great, but we go a little bit deeper in this video. So number 1 is to build self-worth. Self-worth is how you actually begin the process of creating those self-care habits. Usually people with low self-worth do not begin the steps of creating those self-care habits in their life. We start to take care of ourselves and connect back to our bodies and build that self-worth, and that begins the process of understanding ourselves and taking steps to really take care of ourselves. And so when we start doing that, that's when self-care starts to begin. So when we're in that low self-worth, it's really important that we start beginning the process of really taking note of all of the things in our lives that are not working and where we're showing up in self-worth in our life. Are we giving too much to our parents and like what they think and how we should act, and we're people pleasing and we're doing everything for other people? That's a way self-worth can show up and low self-worth can show up. For example, in your job, are you in a job that you really don't like and your intuition is telling you that you need to change? You're doing things that you don't really want to be doing, and in your job you're taking on too much and your boss is giving you too much, but you're not actually setting up your boundaries and telling them that this is not your responsibility, and really building that self-worth in work. So building that self-worth in all parts of your life is really important. Self-worth leads to self-care habits. High self-worth leads to self-care habits. So how can you go from low self-worth to high self-worth? Is really about taking time for yourself. It's about resting more. It's about slowing down. It's about listening to your intuition, honoring your body, so listening to your body, taking care of yourself, so that comes in with like self-care. It's understanding your negative thoughts and being aware of your negative thoughts and trying to create more positive ones. But it's still okay to feel your feelings and, you know, have those emotions. Like, everything is okay. But it's about taking it away from that negative self-talk that you usually have about yourself and just making it a little bit more positive, and keep going with that and keep going with that as well. Okay, tip number 2 is to connect to yourself. This is massive because if we're disconnected from ourselves, if we're always worried, if we're always overwhelmed, if we're always overthinking, then we don't have enough time to connect back to ourselves, let alone create those self-care habits. So it's so important to just connect back to yourself and have the time to do that. So that means resting more and slowing down. And these are things that I'm always going to keep repeating because I think in our society today, we are far too busy and we ignore ourselves far too much. So really coming down to it, the importance is connecting back to yourself, understanding who you are, following your own path, doing what's right for you, and those things lead to creating better self-care in the long run. So when you do that, you're like, okay, so today I feel like going for a run. That's what my body is telling me. Or today I just feel like resting more and just watching something on the TV. That feels good to my body today. Or it means meditating, taking time out of your day and just journaling as well, and writing down your thoughts, because you need to let it out. So it's always coming back to yourself and connecting back to your body is where you're going to be able to find the best self-care habits for yourself. So we build from ourselves, from connecting back to our bodies and honoring who we are, because every day it's different. We might not want to always journal every day. So it's really taking into account who you are on that day and then figuring out what feels the best for you at that time. Tip number 3 is to move your body. But for this, it's move your body in a way that feels good to you. Most of us are taught that we need to move in a certain way, and most of us are doing it because we want a certain body type out of it. You know, we want to lose weight and all of this stuff. And moving your body is so much more than that. It isn't about how you look on the outside. It's about how you feel on the inside. So moving your body means moving in a way that feels good for you that day. So I personally really love dancing. So that feels good to me because I'm moving, and I'm moving in a way that feels good to me, that I really like, and it's not about anyone else, and it's not about anything like losing weight. It is just a way to connect back to my body and move energy through my body. And so dancing feels really good for me, but for other people it might be like HIIT workouts or yoga or Pilates, whatever it is. Like, it's different for everyone, but moving your body is a way of taking care of yourself and creating that self-care out of your day and creating that every single day for yourself. And again, you don't have to move your body every single day. Like, feel what's right for you, but feel and understand your own body and what it needs and what it wants, instead of looking to other experts and what they're doing, because that might not be right for your body. So always connect back to yourself, and then you'll be able to really understand what kind of movement is right for you. Okay, tip number 4 is boundaries. Boundary is self-care. So a boundary can look like, for example, your family keeps asking you about your dating life, and they're like, when are you gonna find someone? Have you found someone? And that's just like, you just don't really want to talk about your dating life with your parents. You can set a boundary. You can say, this isn't something that I want to talk about right now. When I am ready, I will share it with you. That's setting up a boundary. That's a simple boundary to set. I know it can also be very hard, and there are harder situations, but setting up a boundary is setting up your self-worth and not letting anyone cross those is really helpful in building your confidence. So all of this has to do with honoring yourself and taking care of yourself and creating those self-care routines in life. And so a boundary is a necessity in life. Number 5, follow your own path. Oh my God, this is key in life. Whatever, we're talking about self-care, but like, this is just key in life. Following your path is so important. You get to decide what you want to do in life. And I know that's hard because we live in the society that tells us we need to be doing these things in a certain way at a certain time, or we have family members who are like, well, you need to do it this way and you can't do it this way. But that is gonna leave you so unhappy because you are following someone else's opinions. And I've been there. I've done what my parents have wanted me to do, and I can tell you it leaves you unhappy. And I love my parents, but they don't know who I am. They have a version of me, and they are only doing things out of love, but I know who I am, and I know what's true to my heart. And honest, they're just not me. So they'll never know. They are trying to do things that are right for me, but they just don't know because they're not me. And no one is you. So following your own path is the key to happiness, to success. You have to follow your own path, and you will always take care of yourself. And that will lead you to love yourself more and love your life more, because you're not pleasing other people. You are making yourself happy. You're doing what's right for you. And that is going to lead you down a path that is so amazing. I've got some self-care tips in the free workbook that I created, which is Self-Care 101 for busy people, because we are all busy people. Yeah, if you want to just grab it down below, I will link it there.